Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, and I'm really excited for this one. This one's gonna be a fun one. Basically, in this video, I'm going to be listing my top 5 NBA players at each position. So I'll start off with the point guards and list the top 5 who I think's give my reasoning. You know, obviously I have my list right here on averages from last season and just my personal opinion. And if you guys can find any inconsistencies in this video, don't be afraid to shout it out in the comment section. You know, we can go back and forth, you know, make up your own opinions and whatever. But basically, I'm going to start out with the point guards, and I'm going to start out with number 5. I think the 5th best point guard in the league right now, and I'm going to start out pretty crazy right off the bat. Damian Lillard. Now, I think some people might hate this choice and think it's he should be higher in the point guard listing, or some people might think that he shouldn't be in the top 5 because he had an injury last year and he didn't really play particularly well in the games that he had played. But last season he did average 24 points per game on 40% shooting, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. That 40% shooting, that is a problem, but he did have an injury, and the seasons before showed that he is a pretty decent point guard, so I'm not really looking too much into last season as much, but I do think this year he will have a pretty good year, a pretty bounce-back year, and really no one else, in my opinion, deserved this spot. I mean, I guess there's Kyrie there, even though Kyrie's playing shooting guard, which is, he's also iffy at that, and he doesn't play as much as well. There's also, like, Ben Simmons, but, yeah, no, I just felt comfortable putting Dame here. And then go ahead with the 4th pick, and this one, I think some people might argue between my 3rd and 4th on this list. It's going to be Trae Young. He averaged 28 points per game, 46% shooting, which is pretty decent. 4 rebounds and 10 assists. Now, the 10 assists is what really helps him a lot. He has, he's a very good passer, a really good player, but yeah, no, he doesn't really have a lot of flaws. I don't really see any flaws in his game. He's really good. I think he's a really good point guard. You can't go wrong with Trae Young. He's a pretty good point guard, but I'm going to just go ahead and hop up to my number 3 because, like I said, I think between 3 and 4, this one will be debated. It's going to be Ja Morant. Ja Morant averaged 27 points per game last year on 49% shooting. Better than Trae Young, but obviously Trae Young takes more shots from the outside. He also had 6 rebounds and 7 assists. Overall, I think a lot of people will say that Trae Young's stats are better, but I think they're just so close, and to have, you know what I mean, like within a point per game difference, but to have 4% higher on your shooting, and then also to have more rebounds. Now, yes, he did have less assists by 3, but he still can run the offense, I think. And also a big point in this is Ja Morant's defense. It's not the best defense in the world, but it is far from Trae Young. Trae Young's defense is very bad. I mean, no hate, but he just doesn't have that really good defense. But he has pretty... he's a great scorer. No disrespect to Trae Young. I just personally put Ja higher because I think his ceiling is higher than Trae Young's, and I just think right now Ja Morant is that guy, the young guy. You know what I mean? He's pretty good. But speaking of young guy, at number 2, I have Luka Doncic. Last year he averaged 28 points per game, 45% shooting, 9 rebounds and 8 assists. Really, really good stats. Very balanced, really good. And honestly, he would be number one if there was if there wasn't another point guard in the league. But I'll get to him in a bit because I think Luka's just a really good player, and I just wanted to show my respect to him. I know I don't really like him. People know why. I'm a Suns fan. I'm not gonna like him. He's pretty cocky, but you can't disrespect the man's grind. He's a very, 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 very good player. So yeah, now I have him at number 2, and he would actually be at number 1 if Steph Curry wasn't in the league, because that's who I have at number 1. 25 points per game last year, 44% shooting, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, well, technically, Luka does have the better stats, which, yes, I do agree. But you got to remember, Steph took a leap in the playoffs. Last year, he wasn't particularly that great in the regular season, but he started averaging like 33 points per game in the playoffs. And he won the championship. You know, I can't take that away from him. He's the best just because of that. So, yeah, no, that's my point guard ranking. Tell me who I missed out on. I'm sure there will be a few names out there like Chris Paul. Don't have Chris Paul in the top 5. Honorable mention, but it is what it is. Next is the shooting guards. And to start out at number 5 in the shooting guards is going to be Jaylen Brown. Also, something to note on this list, a bunch of players switch positions between each year, and heck, sometimes even game by game they will. So I'm just going off of what position, I pick. Like, you'll find out, you know what I mean? But Jaylen Brown is my 5th spot for shooting guards this year. Last year, he did average 23 points per game off of 47% shooting. Pretty good percentages for shooting, especially with the amount of deeper shots he takes. 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Really, really good stats. I mean, you can't go wrong with Jaylen Brown. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about him. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a little bit underrated just because of his teammate in Jason Tatum, which is also another amazing player. But I just think he's a little bit underrated just for that reason. Next is Zach LaVine for the Bulls. Last year, he averaged 24 points per game, 47% shooting, same as Jaylen Brown, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Now, some people might say that the 2 extra rebounds from Jaylen Brown is better. I just have Zach LaVine up there because last year, Jaylen Brown's season was really good. Zach LaVine's last season was another season for Zach LaVine. I mean, I understand that in his Timberwolves days, he wasn't that great. But since he's gotten on the Bulls, he's been a really good player, and he's been playing very well. I just see, once again, his ceiling is a lot higher than Jaylen Brown's. That's why I'm putting him over him. Not too much to say about him. Decent stat lines all around the board. Definitely top 5 shooting guard. But next, number 3 is going to be Donovan Mitchell. Now, I am very mixed on Donovan Mitchell a lot of the time. I think he's good, but I do think he's a tiny bit overrated on the shooting guard list. But I have him at number 3. He averaged 26 points per game last season on 45% shooting, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Decent stat lines. Once again, I do think he is a level above Zach and Jaylen. That's why I have him over. But yeah, no, decent stat lines. Nothing to really hate. Next is James Harden. Now, this one is a tough one because I will read off his last year's stats, but you have to remember that last year he was a point guard. He was playing a different position. He wasn't really, that crazy scorer trying to score as many points as he could. He was mostly just about passing the ball, which is why he averaged 21 points per game, which isn't bad. but it's low. It's a lot lower for James Harden. 40% from the field, that is not good, but I expect him to do better this year. He's in his natural spot now. I think Tyrese Maxey took over the starting point guard position. 7 rebounds, pretty decent for that's actually pretty good for a shooting guard, I think. And then 10 assists, which is obviously these are last year stats, but 10 assists is good. But I do think he'll make a jump in points and a decrease in assists. Also, I do think his shooting percentage will go up. I think that he was just in a slump. He had just left the Nets, moving to a new team, new system, stuff going on. But yeah, no, I have him at number 2. And then number 1, people are going to think I'm biased here because I'm a Suns fan, but I have Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is getting a lot of hate right now. I think people are looking back at last year's playoffs, how it ended. I do think Devin Booker didn't play well in that Maverick series, but at the same time, he had played pretty good games, but people were overlooking him. It's just that last game was horrible, but everyone in that last game was horrible. No one really played a good game. So, but he averaged last year 27 points per game, 46% shooting, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Balanced stats. I expected them to jump a little bit, not too much. I think he might average 28 this year, and I think he'll average probably the same amount of field goal percentage. Might jump a little bit, like 48%. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I do think his jump in assists might happen. He has been getting slowly better as a playmaker, which is really exciting to see. But that's my shooting guard list. And once again, I think there's going to be a bunch of people who disagree with this. That's fine. Feel free to comment on it, say what you would do differently. But moving on to the small forward list, at 5, I have Chris Middleton. I think he's a underrated small forward. He's pretty decent. I mean, there's nothing jumping out off the page here. 20 points per game, 44% from the field, which is kind of low. 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but nothing horrendous as well. I do think he is a little underrated, though. Definitely an all-star caliber player. Like that's enough for an all-star game. But yeah, I'm just gonna move on from him because he's kind of I like the Bucks as well, but he is kind of a boring player to me. Moving on is going to be DeMar DeRozan. Really good last season from him, especially here. 28 points per game. 5 rebounds and 5 assists. On 50% shooting, that's insane. 28 points per game on 50% shooting is insane to me. Whenever I first saw that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. That is actually crazy. So yeah, no, really good player. And I know a lot of people would probably be like, then why is he at 4 in small forwards? Small forwards stacked. They are really stacked. And don't take this away from DeMar. He's a really good player. It's just the players above him, I think, are bigger superstars. And just that. They're bigger superstars. But number 3, and this one might be argued here between DeMar and number 3, which is Jimmy Butler. Now, I will probably be making a video on why I think Jimmy Butler is the most underrated superstar in the league today. It might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think he's really underrated, really underappreciated, really overlooked. He's really good. Now, yes, right here last season, he did average 21 points per game. That's not jumping off the page. 48% from the field, less than DeMar. 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, you look at the stats and you would say, oh, well, DeMar's the better player. But I didn't write down defensive stats, number one, which Jimmy Butler is a great defender. He brings a lot of hustle, but also Jimmy Butler is far and beyond the leader of his team, and he gives his team energy, and he does all of it. Also, he is really, really good in the playoffs, and this is why I think people underrate him, is they see him in the regular season, they look at his stats, and they think, oh, he's not amazing. He is really good, though. I think he's amazing. He shows up in the playoffs, which some people, might not like it, and they might think, oh, well, you should play hard every single game, which I honestly disagree with those people. Not on the whole, you should play hard every single game, but I think he just plays different in the regular season. But once he gets in the playoff, he plays like a demon, a straight-up demon. But yeah, that's enough of Jimmy Butler. Like I said, I'll probably be making my own video on him because I think the disrespect to him is crazy, as well to a few other players. Next is at number 2. Number 2 and number 1 was hard for me to decide. Number 2, I had Kawhi Leonard. Now, it's hard because these stats that I have written down are not his stats from last season. They're not. It's his stats from the season before because he was injured for a whole season. 25 points per game, 51% shooting, really good, efficient, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Amazing. Now, defensively also great, and like I said, I would probably have him at 1 if it wasn't for the fact that he just got off an injury. I don't know. I can't automatically put him at number 1. He's been injured too much. But he would be. He really would be. I think he's far and beyond, at his peak, he is far and beyond the best small forward in the league. But at number 1 here, I have Jason Tatum. 27 points per game, 45% shooting, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Pretty good stats. Not really good stats, but the reason why I have him over Kawhi is just because he made it to the NBA Finals, right? And Kawhi Leonard has been injured. If Kawhi Leonard comes back and he plays like how Kawhi Leonard plays, then he's the best small forward in the league. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Is it's very close between those two, and I'm really excited to see how Kawhi plays this season. I hope he plays really good. I'm not like a huge Kawhi fan, but I just like seeing all of their players all the players at the best. Like, why wouldn't you? Moving on though is the power forwards. This one was super difficult for me, and I don't even really know why. I do know why. It's because the top 3 power forwards are really good. The top 3 power forwards are amazing. But it takes a huge dip, and it's very hard to tell. In statistics, it's going to look crazy on paper, I already know, and what I say. But I'll just start it out. Number 5, Pascal Siakam. Not a superstar in the league, I don't think. He's a pretty decent player. Not a superstar. He has to do a little bit more. I also think he's on the Raptors. I feel like he could be really, really good somewhere else and at least contribute to a good, maybe even championship team. But he's on the Raptors. But his stats last season were 23 points per game, 49% from the field, 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Pretty good stats. Nothing crazy to say about him. If you watch Pascal Siakam, that's also how I feel. Like he's not an exciting player to watch, but he puts up numbers sometimes, and shout out to him. I mean, he's a decent power forward. I thought I'd put him here. I know there's other people like Domantas Sabonis who's not on the power forward list. But this, I don't know. It's like top 3 power forwards, which are amazing. And then you have the rest. Draymond Green is next on my list. Now, obviously, people would say he's a superstar. I think he's a great leader. But I don't know. The stats don't jump off the page. And if you know Draymond Green, you know that. Because 7 points per game last year on 52% shooting, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Nothing crazy. He does bring amazing defense, though. And on top of that, he's just Draymond Green in it. Won a championship, so there's that. But I'm just going to move off him because everyone knows Draymond Green. He's a decent player, but nothing crazy. Not really entertaining to watch. So there's that. Next is, I'm gonna trigger some people with my top 3 power forwards. 3, I have LeBron James. Last year, 30 points per game, 52% shooting from the field, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. It's LeBron James, Pretty LeBron James stats, I would say. I mean, the 30 points per game is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But nothing crazy. You guys know LeBron. He's going to be good for a while. But the next 2, I think, are better players right now. And I know this next one is going to trigger a lot of people. And I'm fine with arguing it. I'm fine with arguing my point in the comments. Next is Kevin Durant. 30 points per game, 52% from the field. 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Looks like LeBron James stats, except 1 less rebound. But I just think, even though LeBron James hasn't fallen off, I'm looking at the teams as well, and I'm looking at, who's more likely to fall off quicker, and it's LeBron. I mean, he's old, you know what I mean? He's older than Kevin Durant, so it's really not fair, but it just is what it is. But that's who I have. Kevin Durant, LeBron, they're really close. And this one, if anyone disagrees with this, I don't care if you say Kevin Durant's better than him. I don't care if you say LeBron's better than him. You don't know basketball if you disagree with this take. I'm going to say, I'm fine with arguing with people in the comments, but if it's stupid takes, it's stupid takes. Giannis is easily the best power forward in the league. Not only power forward in the league, but for me, I think he is the best player in the league. He's so good. As you can see, 30% or 30%, 30 points per game, 55% shooting, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's bringing the 6 assists like Kevin Durant, like LeBron, but he's also bringing you 11 rebounds and 55% shooting, and he's also bringing you elite defense. Elite defense. Kevin Durant is not bringing you elite defense. He's bringing you good defense. And LeBron is bringing you sometimes good defense, sometimes decent, sometimes bad. LeBron has never been an amazing defender. He's had a few seasons where he's been a good defender, but he's never stuck off the page as an elite defender, for me personally. There has been a few seasons where he probably was, but too inconsistent on that side. Giannis, though, easily the best. No questions asked. Giannis at 1, easily. Centers. Now, centers, I think, are really stacked, and this list was a little bit hard for me to make, and I think there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing, but I'm fine with it, because it's fun. It's fun whenever people disagree with your takes, Not everyone can be the same, so I like to hear opinions from other people. I'm not one of those people who, if you disagree with me, I hate you. Unless you disagree that Giannis is the best player. No, I'm kidding. Bam Adebayo is my 5th best center. 19 points per game last year. 56% shooting. 10 rebounds and 3 assists. Pretty good stats from a center, I'd say. There's a few people I could have put here. No Rudy Gobert I could have put here. But I didn't because he's good, but I mean, he's just not anything special to me personally. Plus, I think Bam deserves it. I think Bam. I think there's like Bam, Rudy Gobert, and like DeAndre Ayton who are in that conversation for the 5th spot for me personally. But moving on to the 4th spot, I have Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points per game, 53% shooting, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. I'm caught up on the 53% shooting. Yes, I understand Bam has 56, and centers are going to have good percentage shooting, except the fact that Cat has shot from the outside a lot. He's deadly 3-point shooter. So, yeah, no, pretty good stats. Once again, amazing, really good stats. Centers are it, man. They're good. So, yeah. Moving on, I didn't know if I should put this dude at center or power forward, but LeBron's also on his team, and LeBron, to me, has always been kind of a power forward or a point forward. So I put Anthony Davis at number 3. This one probably will get a lot of hate, and I'm like 23 points per game, 53% shooting, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. Good stats. The reason why this one will probably get hated on is because Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. If he stayed healthy and if he's at his peak, he is one of the best, but he cannot do it. But yeah, no, that it is what it is. I've got Anthony Davis at 3. 2, this one's pretty simple and easy. Joel Embiid, 30 points per game, 50% shooting, 12 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. Yeah, Joel Embiid's amazing. Did I think he deserved MVP last year, which a lot of people thought he should have won it? Obviously, the next dude that I'm about to state won it. No, Joel Embiid shouldn't have won MVP. But really good stats, and without a doubt in my mind, I think he'll win MVP before his career is over. So, yeah, no, really good stats. Really good player. I was going to say really good team, but his team started off 0-3, so who knows if that's a really good team. Next, at number 1, I have Nikola Jokic. 27 points per game, 58% shooting. Whoo! That's a zinger right there. 14 rebounds and 8 assists. It's Nikola Jokic for you. Great player, 14 rebounds, insane. So yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I don't got much to say about Nikola Jokic, but yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I will have some more videos coming out soon. Not going to all be sports-related content. There will be a video coming out soon that will be about something else. But, yeah. Basically, that's it for my list. Tell me where I went wrong, where I went right, what I could have changed, where my inconsistencies lie, because I'm sure there are some on here. I did the best I could. I'll have another video out probably tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, either tomorrow or Monday, but I definitely will have a video out on Tuesday. That should be the recap of the NFL Week 7, so there's that. But this is it for this video. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Peace.